Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Stef here. So, Uncle Stef's financial literacy course for non-losers. So, this is a quick introduction to financial literacy. If this putting you to sleep already, then come on. You want to become financially literate. This is important. This is basic financial life skills that if you understand these things earlier, the better you will be. I was able to basically hit what's the word I'm looking for? Early retirement a long time ago. At 32 is the last time I took a gig, and I did that as a favor. For a friend of mine because he couldn't get the job as a freelance designer front end unless I did the back end. And at that time, software developers, independents, they were in high demand. They still are in high demand, but back then we were like gods, nerd gods. We got what we want. We got what we want. Anyway, that was the last time I took a gig. So, but I really kind of retired around 30, maybe 31. It's been so long, I forget. Anyway, this video is not meant to be a comprehensive course. I'm going to give you some basic lessons of personal finance. The earlier you adopt this, as I said, the better off you're going to be. This has served me very, very well in my life. And it's not about following ass backwards into huge amounts of money. You don't want to make a bet. You don't want to have a strategy based on getting super lucky. You want to have a strategy that is based on probability of success, on something that's highly probable. So number one, you need to up your skills. So continuously up your skills. Don't worry, I'm going to get into the meat of very practical finance stuff. But you still need to up your skills. The more highly skilled you are, the better off you're going to be. So when you're evaluating, let's say programs at college, university, boot camps, whatever it is, evaluate the opportunities in that program. Look at the teachers, the schools, the institutions. What are the probabilities, right? Art history is fun. Photography, cinematography, I love it. It's fun. But are there any, what are the probabilities you're going to get a career by getting a job, getting a certification in cinematography or certification in marketing? Those days are fading very, very quick. Don't forget, universities they're selling a product. The product is education. At one point, universities, for the longest time, I say, maybe from the 60s up until recently, they were super valuable because, I'd say the 90s, because they had access to information that was hard to get. Prior to the interwebs and Google specifically, information was very scarce. So universities, some of them, were famous because of their libraries, because they had very good libraries. They had a treasure trove of information. Those days are gone. Information is in tremendous abundance now. What you need is to filter your information. But anyway, that's another story. So in terms of financial skills, you have to up your skills. Number two, you have to start really understanding money. Most people don't understand money at all. Basic things like interest rates and long-term investments, basic investment strategies. Bitcoin is not an investment strategy. That is buying a lottery ticket. Was Bitcoin a great play 10 years ago? 100%. Is it going to be a great play in the future? Much less so. Like they're saying, Bitcoin could go to $1 million. Right now it's about 100,000 a coin. And Bitcoins, anyway. It could, but the problem with Bitcoin is based on whether or not you can sell it to the next person who thinks it's going to go up. Whereas if you buy the S&P, where you're buying pieces of companies that are actually making money, that is far, far, far less risky. And between Bitcoin, and the S&P, 100% go in the S&P. You may triple in the S&P, but it won't go to zero, and you won't lose 2/3 of your money or all of it as you would in a Bitcoin. But anyway, that's another story. It's not about Bitcoin. The point is, most people who get wealthy, they invest. And most people who invest to get wealthy are ones who do long-term, broadly diversified investment. Don't want to take risks that are unnecessary. When you do invest for long-term retirement, it may seem like forever. Let me tell you, I'm old and decrepit now. 30 years goes like this. You'd be surprised how quickly it passes. So yeah, you don't want to be making silly mistakes like investing short-term, putting money in your 401k and then pulling it out, or if you're Canadian, putting in your TFSA and pulling it out. You want to invest for the long term. So there's a basic rule in the stock market, and while investing in general, say it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. You want to be in the market as long as possible. So you want to put your money in and just keep putting your money in, doing something called dollar cost average. That's the first term to look up. Dollar cost average. Okay, another principle. You have to not let lifestyle creep destroy you. Lifestyle creep is when you start making more money because you train up and you build skills and you build reputation, you get better and better and better, you start making more money. The mistake people make is they start buying themselves Porsches and BMWs and taking big trips and buying super fancy watches and clothes and crap. It's fun at first, but then as you get older, you realize that this stuff is stupid because it loses money like crazy. And then the enjoyment you're going to get out of this stuff will diminish over time. Meanwhile, the people who did like me, who just stayed the same cheap-ass lifestyle, low-key lifestyle, I love pad thai, had pad thai, tikka chicken, some steaks, But beyond that, no fancy cars, no cars for years. I was able to save quite a bit. That was the reason why I was able to retire at 30, 31, something like that. Not because I made oodles and oodles of cash, although I made more than the average person through passive income streams, and many of them, well, not many, but several, I didn't spend the money. So another rule is, okay, that's it, the lifestyle creep, another thing you have to avoid, like the plague. Number 3, you want to protect your health, right? Let me tell you, as you get older, you will feel the impacts of your lifestyle decisions vis-a-vis health, which you consume, and your exercise level. You will start really feeling that hard when you get into your 40s and 50s. If you're 20 and watching this, trust me, it comes super quick. So don't make that mistake. Train hard and try to eat as best you can and not get fat, get thin, get 15% body fat. If you're male, 18 to 20%. If you're female, you want to eat natural foods, train on a regular basis, lift weights, build muscle. You do this. This is like putting money into Bitcoin 20 years ago. The payoff is unbelievable in terms of your quality of life as you get older. I have several friends now who did not take care of their bodies, and they are in big trouble now. They're feeling the impacts of these choices, and they're feeling it hard. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. You want to invest in your health. Trust me, your cognitive capacities will be greatly impacted by this. Your mood, how you feel day to day, whether you have a pain-free or a very no pain, a very healthy, happy existence in terms of your physical body. Very important. That's that rule. So next one, you want to, as I said earlier, you got to keep investing. 100% diversified. The best thing you should do is just long-term investments into broad markets. You can check out other videos. I've talked about it. No debt, of course. No debt. Credit cards, debt is pure evil. Credit card debt is pure, absolute evil. So with regards to your credit cards, you have zero debt. Zero debt. Why is credit card debt evil? Because of the high interest rates. High interest rate. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. You have to get rid of your credit card debt at all cost. And if you find yourself having to use your credit card to balance your budget to just meet your monthly expenses or weekly expenses, you have to go red alert. We got a problem here, Houston. We got to deal with this situation. We got to take care of it. You can't let yourself become dependent on debt to survive. That's just a recipe for pain, major pain down the road. That's it. I think those are the main keys. No credit card debt, get healthy, up your skills, don't let lifestyle creep hit you, start investing on a regular basis, dollar cost average, live below your means, live below your means, live below your means. Trust me, I got all these fancy furniture, I've had fancy cars, I still have one fancy car, but I buy everything cash. And you know what? I got like this $16,000 couch, so it's 16,000 Canadian. It's about $4 US. No, it's bad. I figure it's about 12,000 US. Looks great. People go, ooh, nice couch. But at the end of the day, right now, 4 or 5 years later, I wish I just bought an IKEA couch. Why? Because, there's an old expression, it's from Buddhism. They say, that which you own in time will come to own you. And I can tell you, without a doubt, that is true. So if you want to get in shape, you should check out my Fitness Over 50 programs for all ages, really. But it was designed for old geezers like me, so you can get in super good shape, improve the brain function, improve the libido function. Everything improves like crazy. 80% of the reason why people go to hospitals is because of something called metabolic disorder. And that's a fancy way of saying you eat poorly, you don't exercise enough. But the problem is with all these exercise programs is they don't deal with the fundamental issue that people have when it comes to getting in shape. Lizard brain. Your basic impulses, your basic urges, your habits, if you're out of shape, you're fat, you got a body fat, you look, this is because you got bad habits. These are bad habits derived from lizard brain programming. So fundamental to the program, first and foremost, is that we retrain your brain so that doing things that are good for you, doing things that will get you muscular and in shape, become second nature for you. In fact, the urge is to do the opposite of what you're doing now if you're out of shape. The urge, so you got to reprogram your brain. So the whole program has explicit, very specific training techniques to retrain your brain, also to training techniques to get in shape and how to eat properly, all this kind of stuff. It also has an AI, and the AI is going to make your life so much easier because the AI has been trained on the principles, on my Fit Over 50 principles. I call it FOF, F-O-F. And so it automates some of the tedious, all the tedious tasks. It makes it really easy to execute. Anyway, join the program. I'm moving out of the beta pretty soon, so you can join now. And it will transform your life. The great thing about it, again, retrain your brain, retrain your body, retrain your head. You're going to learn how to exercise properly so you don't get injured, so you build maximum muscle, etc. So for example, one of the techniques is I call it the pulsing technique, as in heartbeat, a pulse. So one of the reasons people fail is because they go on a strict diet and they stick to it for whatever, a week or 2 weeks or a month or 4 months, and then the pressure of that change, they break. And that's the lizard brain going, hey, we don't want this change. So what we do is we use a pulsing technique to slowly reprogram your brain to habituate to the new, much better diet or method of consumption. It's not some strict diet. It's not a specific superfoods. There's no such thing as superfoods for the most part. It's not about eating what time of day. No. Just general better habits, some basic habits we're going to teach. So we use the pulsing method to slowly retrain your brain and your body to be habituated to the new healthy way of eating. So all of a sudden it becomes easy, no pressure. Anyway, check it out below, Fit Over 50. Lizard brain based training program supported by an AI coach that greases the wheels, makes it easy to do things.